Bram Stoker's Dracula for Sega Genesis was developed by Psygnosis and Traveler's Tale. Bram Stoker's Dracula for Sega CD was developed by just Psygnosis. Both games were published by Sony ImageSoft. Both games are based on the movie, and both were released in 1993. So, what's the difference? You'll notice right away these are two completely different games. The Genesis version is like a typical 16-bit game, while the Sega CD game pushes the hardware to the limit. The backgrounds all look like they were pre-rendered in 3D. You can see it scroll as you move forward. There's cool sweeping shots as you enter certain rooms too. And the characters were made using digitized graphics, just like Mortal Kombat. In addition to the lush graphics are the inclusion of full motion video cutscenes taken right out of the movie. These happen between and during some levels. The Genesis game just has a book that gives you the title of each level. It's nothing like this. There is, however, no audio from the movie. You never hear anyone from the film speak. There is a narrator by the fireplace who tells the story.
Success is but a pinprick of light in a land of darkness.
Too bad he's not from the film, though. The music on Sega CD is done by Mike Clark, and it sounds pretty good. The orchestrated score goes well with the creepy atmosphere. It's completely different from the Genesis soundtrack, except for the opening. The Genesis soundtrack by Matt Furness and Andy Brock does have some sweet tunes of its own. The sound on Sega CD isn't perfect though.
I will taste your flesh. So you still pursue me. So you still pursue me. Foolhardy mortal. So you still pursue me. Come, I will taste your flesh.
This game has one of the most laughable game overs ever. The gameplay is also different in the two games. The Sega game is an action platformer, while the Sega CD game is a bit simpler. The Genesis game has one button for jump, attack, and a projectile. The Sega CD game has one button to jump, one to punch, and one to kick. The Genesis game is full of platforming, taking you up, down, left, right, through various levels, while the Sega CD game has you move just right. The Sega CD game actually plays kinda like Kung Fu for the NES. Kinda. You just move in one direction, the enemies constantly swarm at you, you need to take them out with either a punch or a kick. The same, right? Okay, maybe not. There is one level on Sega CD on horseback for a little variety, but not much. Like I said, a very simple game. So, is it worth it? I can say without hesitation, no! Sure, it looks nice, but the Sega CD game is plagued with problems. Where to start? Well, the controls are awful. You move so slowly. It makes it very difficult to avoid enemies and projectiles. And the jumping is terrible too. You can't control the jump in midair, so you always jump the same distance. This means a lot of overshooting and undershooting your target. Luckily, you don't have to do it often. Attacking is poor too. You need to time your attacks early. If you don't, the enemies will be all over you. This will happen a lot. And this is the main problem really, the difficulty. This game is hard. Even though you respawn right where you die, this game is still impossible. They constantly throw enemies at you. You have no room to breathe. You move slow, you attack slow, you're gonna die a lot. Practically every enemy you encounter is gonna get a piece of you. It doesn't matter how careful you try to be. The game is pretty much the same thing over and over again. The gameplay never changes. You're always slowly walking right, trying not to die. Occasionally you can go in a different direction, but that just leads to more walking right. The horseback level is an attempt at variety, but it plays awful as well. Instead of using the D-pad to move, you need to keep tapping the A button. And while you're tapping, you need to jump over projectiles and shoot the carriage. It's not incredibly fun, but thankfully, it's short. The In summation, the moving, jumping, and attacking are all terrible in the Sega CD game. The Genesis game is flawed as well, but compared to the Sega CD game, it's almost a masterpiece. The controls are much tighter, enemies aren't constantly thrown at you, and it's a much more enjoyable experience overall. So unless you feel like having a good laugh with your buddies, avoid the Sega CD game altogether. If you want to play Bram Stoker's Dracula, best to stick with the one on Sega Genesis.